Hello, everyone, and welcome to ReelQuick, episode 142. Just George and myself today, but I still think we can make it a fun draft. So this is coming courtesy of Luke Dyrhaug, one of our patrons. And of course, check out our Patreon link in the description down below if you want to join. The army's getting bigger every single day. Our Discord's getting more active, which, I mean, even a year ago when we first started the thing, it was already one of the most active Discords I've ever been in. And now it's just a whole new level even from that. So check out our Patreon in the description down below. And normally, with drafts, we do 5 rounds with 4 people to get a total of 20 movies. Today, we're just going to do 10 rounds each. So we're still going to get 20 movies because ever since we did our Monday ReelTok episode where we limited directors, limited actors, which we're not going to do with this one because it's so much more restricted. But we just had a blast expanding, because if you notice a year ago on ReelTok when we were 20 drafts in, we'd be like, oh man, we're starting to always get Spider-Verse or whatever, these movies like that, and we're like, no more, we're going to ban some certain movies. It's not the same stuff every time. So in that same spirit, we like having different stuff here. So initially when it was just me and George, we were going to do, we're just going to do a ranking of our top 10 best movies with a number in the title. But instead we're going to do a draft just to make sure none of us overlap here. But what we mean by number in the title, so something like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is not going to count because, it's a number in the title. Yes, with 1, but it's spelled O-N-E. We're talking stuff like 7, where, one of the E's the V is a number 7. 300, the Zack Snyder movie is literally 300. So movies that actually have the number in the title, as you can see on the screen, if you're watching on video, doing stuff like that. So George, I'm going to give you the first pick, 10 rounds total. I'm going to see how many I have in my prep sheet. I have a lot. Not a lot. I did not prep a lot. So I'm hoping you didn't pick some of these, which I know that this is one where at first when I recommended this draft, when I saw Luke suggested this, I said in our group chat, I'm like stuff like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest would count. And then once I started doing my research, I was like, oh shit, we could actually just do this with actual numbers because we got
there's a lot,
quite a lot to play with. And I think it's more fun and we'll get a lot more unique stuff. But with that being said, I didn't fully prep all the ones I did see, but if you pick all the ones I picked, then I have no doubt that I can quickly find a bunch more. But you get the first pick. Where are you going to go here?
Yeah, I prepped, so we can wrap this up because I've won this draft. Round 1, pick 1. I've frequently called it the greatest film ever made.
Not your favorite film though, not in your top 10.
The one film I separate best and favorites from, but 2001 A Space Odyssey is just that guy, that dude, that movie, one of the greatest to ever do it. One of the most influential films out there. I know a lot of people hate when people throw out influence into their arguments for why something is better than something else, but I just, the influence that movie and Stanley Kubrick had on the entire science fiction industry cannot be understated.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's got to be a first-round pick, but I think this other film should also be the other first-round pick. And everything you said about 2001, you can say the same thing about this film. It's that guy, it's that dude. The influence is undeniable. And that's 12 Angry Men. Yeah, I think of all the films, of all the films I've ever seen, I feel like that's one of the best you could study if you want to get into the industry, just simply because the blocking and the camera work of just having just such a contained room, the script, amazing, acting, amazing. Every single nuance of that film you could just dive into and study. The screenplay, of course. So 12 Angry Men, 2001. I feel like for a number movie draft, those should be
I was going to say
2 solid first rounders.
Those are my top 2, and I'm wondering, are they your top 2 as well?
They are, absolutely. Okay. But now I think, we still have a lot of great films with numbers in the titles left, but I think they're not as locked for being a number 3 or number 4. So we're going to kind of go a completely different angle here. And I'm going to go 28 Days Later.
Oh, wow.
28 Days Later.
Damn. I thought that'd be I
thought it might be too, but I think I'm probably missing probably some heavy hitters. We'll see.
You gotta be, man. Unless you rate what do you give that? What do you rate that?
4.5. Oh,
wow. Okay. All right. Well, now I feel like I have just the board at will here. My second pick. I'm gonna stick to science fiction. You guys know how much I love science fiction, and I've been talking about this movie a lot because this filmmaker has been obviously in the limelight for a couple of months now. I'm gonna take Blade Runner 2049.
Yep,
that's gonna be my number 2 pick. My top 3 are off the board now because that was my number 3 after 12 Angry Men and Space Odyssey. And then my third pick. Now you tell me if we're vetoing this or not.
I think I know where you're going, but
I would like to take Okay, Terminator 2
Yep.
Judgment Day. Okay, so we're including like the sequel numbers as well.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to take Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah, that definitely counts.
Shameless plug. We just reviewed on the podcast like maybe a month or two ago. So go check that out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, when I sort all the Letterboxd films I've logged by like rating on desktop, Terminator 2, 12 Angry Men, and 2001 are the only ones that show up on the first page. So now we're going to dive a little deeper just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But
yeah, I was going to say, I feel like if we had ranked this, we probably would have had a very similar top 5.
Yeah, that's why I like the draft format a little better. Yeah, I'm going to go with, so I guess now we're on my second page on Letterboxd. So I'm going to go with 1917.
Good pick. Good.
Still a huge fan of that.
I feel like you're forgetting a movie.
You think I'm forgetting a movie?
If you haven't, hold on. Well, now I got to check if you've seen it.
If it's by a certain director, I don't like it as much as most people, but
really? Hold on.
But yeah, I mean, if it's not on I'm only looking at my films that I've logged, so it's very possible I've seen it and haven't logged it, so I'm screwing myself over by not looking at it.
Oh no, okay, all right.
What, am I lower on it than you thought? Or?
Yeah, you're way lower on it than I had anticipated.
Gotcha. Yeah, so 1917 there, and then I'll run it back with I'll go with the 400 Blows.
Oh,
400 Blows.
That would have been Seth's number 1 pick.
Yeah, he definitely would have nabbed that off the board. So hopefully I get his vote here. But yeah, now back to you for back-to-back picks.
All right, the movie I was talking about was David Fincher's Seven.
Yep, that's the one. I'm not as high on. Are you picking it?
Realize. Yeah, I'm taking it. It. I did not realize you were at I mean, you're not even low on it. You're at a 3.5, which is still a good rating. I just never realized you were lower than everyone. And then my 5th pick. See, now it's where it gets like tricky because I had ranked my top 5 because we were originally going to do a top 5 ranking. So like those were all in order. Those are all off the board. Now I just have a list of 30 movies, unranked, just all over the place. So I think I'm gonna go with another sequel, even though I think that's cheating a little bit. I'm gonna take Spider-Man 2.
Yep, very valid.
I think that's a good pick. That's a movie that gets closer and closer to a 5-star rating every time I watch it. And I got tickets. Did you get tickets to the re-release?
I did not, but in Phoenix, it's not something you really need to, buy too far in advance to get.
Okay. Yeah, I waited like a couple hours before buying, and now I'm stuck with row B for every screening. But I truly think after watching Spider-Man 2 on the big screen for the first time, it might go up to a 5-star for me.
Yeah, maybe that would do it for me, because for me, the more I watch Spider-Man 2, the less I like it. It's still a 4-star, my favorite of the Raimi trilogy, but I used to like hold it on such a high pedestal over the other two. But I recently dropped it down to 4, and then Spider-Man 3 is recently brought up to 3.5. So like the Raimi trilogy, to me, the grouping's gotten a lot tighter. I used to be way lower on 3 and way higher than 2, but they're getting a lot closer to me.
I wonder if I'll be higher on 3 after seeing it on the big screen.
So are you doing all 1, 2, and 3? You got tickets to all 3 of them?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and the Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice. Not 2 though. You didn't care to see the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Not really, honestly. maybe if I'm not doing anything that day and I check and the tickets are still available, maybe. But I don't know.
Did you see the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 in theaters when they came out, or was that
2? Never saw 1. Yeah, 2, and then the Holland trilogy I saw all in theaters. Raimi's movies and Amazing Spider-Man 1 I never saw in theaters.
Which of the Amazing Spider-Mans is the one with Jamie Foxx? Is that the first?
That's the second.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that one might be fun in theaters because he's freaking play those dubstep noises the whole time. Like, that might be fun in Dolby. But yeah. All right, I get back to backs here. I'm gonna go Short Term 12, which I just recently watched, and I love that movie.
Wow.
I'm going for a little bit different picks this week.
I was staring at a movie that I was really confident you were gonna take for a second.
Really? Do I rate it at a 4?
I'm literally typing. I'm checking right now.
Okay. Because I have a couple here on my list that are at 4s. I don't have any 4.5s or 5s that I think of, so I might be missing one. But
oh my God, you rated a 3, dude. You don't know ball.
Oh God.
Respectfully.
I'm interested to see what it'll end up being, but I'm gonna go with Yeah, we will do. We'll get a best picture winner on the board. I'll go 12 Years a Slave. So I have three
Yeah.
12s. 3 12s on the board.
Do you? Oh yeah. That's funny.
Interested to know which one you're thinking of, but
All right. Well, first I'm going to take 300.
yeah,
That's my next pick. That is not what I thought you would take. What I thought you would take, which I guess is not as universally loved as I thought it was, just looking at not even your rating, but some of my other mutuals ratings, was 21 Jump Street.
yeah, that was one of like the first things on like episode 1 or 2 of the ReelTok podcast that people like. I think I had a 2.5 at the time, and you all were like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" But
that has to be one of the most rewatched movies that Victoria and I have watched together. Like that's the one, like whenever we just don't know what to watch, we're like, oh, let's just throw on 21 Jump Street. I think we've watched that movie together maybe like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah. To be fair, I need to rewatch it because I logged that as one of like my first ever logs on Letterboxd, and I was still stupid with my rating system. Like I had no clue what I wanted my rating system to be at the time. So in my mind, I was like, I think I was probably like, yeah, I like that as comedy, but it's like a silly comedy, so it can't possibly be like up where like a 2001 would be ranked. So I got to rate it at like a 2.5 or a 3 to save room for those. But now, obviously, years later, my Letterboxd ideas have changed a whole bunch. So I think it would definitely be higher now because there's definitely comedies I'll rate very highly if I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, 21 Jump Street, great pick. My back-to-backs here. I'm gonna go. So I think I secured Seth's vote with the 400 blows. I'm gonna try and secure K Meek's vote with 10 things I hate about you.
Oh no, damn it!
So I got at least 2 votes on the board, even though I think they're blowing me out of the water. But I'm gonna for sure get 2 votes.
Damn, I wanted that one. That was literally next on my list right after 21 Jump Street. Fuck.
And then Shoutout Rabbit will get 8 Mile.
That wasn't even on my list.
Yeah. Good movie.
I'm looking at another 12 right now. You can have 4 12s on your board if you play your cards right.
Another 12?
Technically not a 12 on its own, but yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay. I'll see what I'll try and find.
I have back-to-backs. I think District 9 has to be on our board. So I'm going to take District 9, especially just how much I love found footage. And found footage, it's so I need to rewatch it, but it's such a fun like found footage horror science fiction blend, where if you love one of those genres more than the other, you're gonna have a great time with this movie. If you love all 3 like I do, you're gonna have an awesome time with this movie. And then my 9th pick, I'm gonna go with. See, this is where we get interesting. You know what? I'm gonna get some. We don't have any on the board right now, right? No, I'm gonna take an animated movie. I'm gonna go Big Hero 6.
Nice pick.
Yeah, I think that's a good pull. That's
never seen it, but just purely in terms of the title, Big Hero 6. That's a good one to add on the board.
It's a great movie. You should watch it.
Okay, it's back to me for my final 2 picks. I'm getting so screwed over by Letterboxd posters because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the Hateful Eight, and then because like the poster's the 8, and then I click on it.
I know.
Same with all the Oceans movies. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm getting an Oceans movie, and I'm like, oh nope, it's all spelled out.
And then 7 is the opposite. The poster is like written out with the V, and not at least the poster I use.
Yeah, no consistency. And on your phone, you can sort Letterboxd by like either picture or like title, but unless I'm stupid, I don't see it on desktop. So it's like kind of have to click into the actual poster to end up seeing what the actual title says, or I guess hover over it. Maybe no, you kind of have to click into it. So
but Letterboxd doesn't want us to win.
Yeah, they don't want to see us win. I'm gonna go with we'll go rest in peace Chadwick Boseman. We'll get 42 on the board.
Yeah, great pick, great pull.
And do I want to go a serious final pick, or do I want to go a silly final pick? Question here.
I was thinking the same thing.
But to be fair, everything, at least on my research board, I'm probably missing something if I looked at my letterbox, but everything else is kind of like a 2.5 or 3, like nothing like good really left on my board. All kind of just silly stuff. But yeah, we'll get. Wait, hold on. Let me just check a certain person's rating of this movie real quick.
You trying to go for someone else's vote?
Yeah, I thought he liked this more. I thought Josiah was a bigger fan of this than he is, but he still gives it 4 star. I'm gonna go High School Musical 2.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I was like, you gonna take Paul Blart Mall Cop too?
Yeah, I mean that might be a smart play, but
all right. My final pick. So I got a list of like another 15 movies in front of me. Oh, you know what I'm gonna take? I'm gonna take this movie that I just watched recently for the first time. It's called 30 Days of Night. It is a vampire horror movie. It's a lot of fun, pretty much. It's very, very mid 2000s type, like horror, I guess. It's very cliche. It's very like genre trope riddled, but it's fun. It's about a couple of townsmen and a policeman trying to fight off a zombie invasion. So I'll grab that. That's my 10th and final pick.
Nice. Yeah, the only stuff I had that I kind of missed out on was probably the only stuff I had left on my board was the 40-Year-Old Virgin, 21, and then Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Oh man! All right, I had 10 Cloverfield Lane. Could have easily picked.
Yeah, yep.
22 Jump Street, which I can't imagine you like if you don't like 21 Jump Street.
I think I hold them about the same.
Yeah, 13 Going on 30, 50-50. I was thinking 2012. That was the other 12 movie. The End of the World movie.
Yeah.
I think I've told this on the podcast before, but that movie I saw in theaters, my family. And at one point, the movie's so loud because it's all just apocalyptic shit. And I remember this so clearly, this moment. The movie gets like really quiet at one point, and I let out this absolute massive fart. And everyone just like turns around and stares at me. Like the one moment the movie gets quiet, I rip ass.
Yeah.
And
that's something that just sticks with you forever.
Yeah, that's what I remember about that movie. 500 Days of Summer we could have gone with. I also have Jonah Hill's Mid-90s.
I was gonna say mid-90s would have been another good pull.
Yeah, that would have been a good pull. And then Miracle on 34th Street. I feel like that would have been a nice wholesome addition instead of some vampires.
Yeah, and then obviously there's a ton of sequels that also could have been in there, but I'm trying to look in terms of like movies that are like not sequels to The Number. That would have been a little sneaky little pick, but I think we kind of covered most of them. So the draft board, George picked 2001: A Space Odyssey, Blade Runner 2049, Terminator 2: Judgment Day 7, Spider-Man 2, 300, 21 Jump Street, District 9, Big Hero 6, and 30 Days of Night. Then I picked 12 Angry Men, 28 Days Later, 1917, The 400 Blows, Short Term 12, 12 Years a Slave, 10 Things I Hate About You, 8 Mile, 42, and High School Musical 2. Vote for who you think won in the comments or on Twitter or wherever we post this, but for sure one of them in the YouTube comments will be a good place to vote. Let us know who you think won between George and myself. And thank you, Luke Dyrhaug, for the suggestion. And patrons, we will see you tomorrow with the review of Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line. But for everyone else, we will see you on ReelTok episode 80 on Monday. Peace out.
Peace.